Back in the cave for another one. Let's conclude the series. So we got a little suspender action, little belt action today. Diamondback padded, Diamondback 4-inch, Badger standard, Badger padded. All right? So, be fair and unbalanced here. Let's go with where I think Diamondback shining. All right? So, one, with the suspenders, I do appreciate the fact that you can actually move these guys up and down with Badger sewn in. And my son, he's not very robust up top. So this is riding a little lower than we'd like to see. Be nice to see these guys give us something adjustable for the skinny guys. All right, there's one. Two, you get a little bit of sag here. All right, just a bit. Be nice to see Badger come in and tighten this up just a little bit. Whereas Diamondback, that's about as tight as you're going to be able to get it within reason. You know what I mean? With that being said, this is so robust that not really noticing any kind of like a, I don't know, maybe a design flaw like while you're wearing it. Nonetheless, be nice to see that get tightened up a little bit. So with the belt, like I said, very robust. This is not my belt. This is another kid's belt. My son, his buddy. If I was running this belt, I'd be collapsing this thing. I run my guns pretty hard, and I hang them on the back. Be nice to see this get a bit more robust, but I'm not faulting it. You know, pretty good. One thing that I think is a little bit better with just how you're connecting to your belt. I appreciate the 3-point a little better. That's just my preference. Doesn't mean this is a bad product. This is a good product. All right. Another spot where I think they're shining, which for me doesn't really matter, but for anybody tying off on a roof or something, little peace of mind. I would never trust my life with this, but there isn't really the option here. You know what I mean? You need to get a little creative to figure that out right off the bat. You know what I mean? So keeping with belt, they're both running the Cobra buckle. If you want street cred, these guys actually did it first. These guys, when I was a kid framing, couple guys had Diamondback setups. This stuff used to be plastic. This has always been this way. If you need the street cred, there it is. So let's move up. Let's move up to suspenders real quick because it kind of plays into the belt a little bit. Big differences here between them. You got the no fancy edging. You got some fancy edging. I have grown to hate anything that's got edging like this. Running tool belts for 20 plus years here, and I can say from legit experience that when I see this edging, I just know right away that shit is rubbing on you hard, man. It is just rubbing on you hard. I really appreciate the no-nonsense level of business that's going on here with Badger. The little, like, I want to call it neoprene, but it's not neoprene. I don't know exactly what it's called. Maybe not quite as durable underneath as these guys. I mean, I could see one day maybe my son chucking this on the ground, getting snagged on a nail or something like that. This would get a little busted up, could get busted up. These guys, possibly a bit more durable. I'm not saying anybody really wins as far as the interior is concerned, but I gotta say, man, from experience, this stuff here is like, to me, it's just fluff. You know what I mean? Like, people seem to think that this is just the way it has to be done. Once again, I really appreciate the no nonsense level that these guys go with, where there's just no edging. It really is that much more comfortable. So keeping with the suspenders, another spot where I think it's kind of lacking with Badger here is like they are saying that this is on their website. They're saying that this is a pencil slot. If this is actually a pencil slot, we need a bottom. This is pencils are just going to be falling out. If you're clicking in maybe a Pika pencil, maybe you're a peekaboo, you're fine. You know what I mean? But an actual carpenter's pencil, old school, an actual round pencil, old school, is eventually this kid's going to stretch this out too much. He's not going to be putting anything in there. He's not planning on putting anything in there, but there's no reason to call this a pencil slot on your website. It's just kind of pointless. I see guys all the time riding pencils in here. Same kind of deal. Be nice to see a bit of a bottom, you know what I mean? But that's just preference, you know what I mean? So we went over 3-point versus 4-point. We went over comfort level. Seriously, comfort level. These are winning. No offense. These are straight up winning. Still a good product, but when you get into like how this is hinging, when this kid's moving around, my son is running clean, dude. This is clean living right here. No joking around. That little bit right here, nice and neat. Loving that. This kid is loving this setup. Truth be told, he got this set up from his mom, and I failed to communicate with what I was going to get this kid for Christmas. I wound up buying this kid a set of Badgers. She wound up buying this kid a set of Diamondbacks. He sold this setup to his buddy, and he's like, yo, this is the way. So, right on. Let's go over one more thing where Diamondback's winning here. So, we talked about how there's like really no sag with this belt at all. One more thing that I think would be really cool, especially for the skinny guys, because you figure the back of the belt is going to get thinner as you go. You know, the thinner you get, the thinner the back of the belt is. It would definitely be appreciated on my end to see, maybe not so much here, this doesn't really matter, but right here, it'd be nice to see you guys maybe shrink this up a little bit. It's going to be plenty strong, and it'll give us skinny guys a bit more meat to like hang a gun, put a bolt bag, whatever it is, you know? Something to just keep in mind, you know? Right on. So I do appreciate that. This kid's got a little bit more, just that little bit more space, and it does actually make that little bit of difference. But I mean, to be honest here with the belt, it's honestly not even fair. These guys are killing it. These guys are freaking killing it with the padded belt. In my mind, this is all in all the most well-built nylon setup. All right, I'm not going to bother comparing this to leather. All right, so all you leather guys out there, cool, good for you, right on. I prefer running nylon. I used to run leather. I just don't like the slimy feel that I get when I'm sweating my ass off at work. You know what I mean? Nylon does a bit of a better job just soaking that up. I can run it through the wash, whatever. That's me, all right? The belt, straight up, guys, is no contest. All this stuff here, I mean, don't get me wrong, these guys are running the edging right, okay? So if you saw the other video with the Martinez belt, there's no pad up in here on the Martinez belt. That thing was killing me, man. Absolutely killing me. I can see an actual level of comfort with this though, you know? Not dogging Diamondback here. Not dogging them at all. This is a good product, all right? I just don't personally like this edging anymore. I mean, when I said in an earlier video that I have scars on my left side, like I could get Joker with it right now, paint my face and be like, you wanna know how I got them? You know, I could do that, but whatever. The fact that they have the actual pad in with the edging, right on. That's how you run your edging, all right? So, good belt, don't get me wrong. The way it's wearing in, I appreciate that. Really appreciate that. It's not wearing in where it's turning away from your body. This little bit where it's sewn in here, that's very much appreciated. This kid's bending over. He's not getting the amount of pinch points that he's not going to have to deal with what I dealt with when I was younger. That's good for him, you know? With that being said, no joke, man. If you're getting a high-end nylon setup, this is the freaking way, man. When I'm bending over, I got my bag right here, all right? So, when I'm bending over, Now, and I mean, I'm not talking smack on these kids at all, but let's get that on camera. You see how that's bending over away from my body? I do what I call up downs, right? I do a lot of flooring, do a lot of baseboard, a lot of down on the ground work. When I'm doing 800 plus up downs a day, that's memoried in. I'm like a week and a half in on this thing. This is straight up the best freaking padded belt I've ever had in my life. No joking around. No joking around at all. Once again, not necessarily blowing these guys out of the water, all right? This is a good product. But with the suspenders, no joke, this is the way. And I like the 3-point. I like that you could, if you wanted to, you could hook this up to maybe some Buckaroo, stuff like that. They got good products too. Well, they have really good suspenders. We'll say that. I have some reservations with Buckaroo, but maybe that'll be a different video. Probably won't be. I'm getting a little tired of running these tool belt videos. You know what I mean? I want to get onto something a bit more interesting for me. I'm going to do my best to keep that quick. I got to say, clear winner overall. If you're going to go one company, you're going nylon. In my opinion, this is the way. If you're going to be going, let's say you want the best padded belt, the best pair of suspenders, right? Go with these guys and chuck some Diamondback pouches on, simply because you get that many options. I feel like I said enough. Keepers are really good on both companies. This kid needs to clean his stuff up. Yo, if you see this, dude, I'm talking to one person in particular here. Just give me a sec. You got to get this keeper over here. This has got to run nice and neat through here, under here, and then you have your second keeper over here. You know, you just don't necessarily know the way. I'll leave you a note. I'll let you know the way. That's going to be it for me. Definitely. This belt, no joke, man. This belt is the way. Straight up. That's it. Later.